we're back to discuss 10 Cloverfield Lane, and yeah, I mean, hopefully you've seen the movie by now. If not, here come the spoilers. So yeah, it has very little to do with the first Cloverfield until like the last 10 minutes of the movie. We as an audience know that that's what's going on out there because it is a sequel. We know something related to that is going on. The whole, the air is polluted thing. We're not sure if we're supposed to believe that about what John Goodman's saying or not.
Right.
But then we see that indeed, like, something is out there trying to gas the aliens or the people or something. There's some sort of a toxic air thing going on. Yeah, essentially everything until she escapes the bunker I thought was really, really well done. Reminded me a little bit of Ex Machina in the way that it's just like three people and a thriller and enclosed space and that sort of thing. Not nearly as like well executed as Ex Machina, but still very, very good. The performances were all solid, I thought, from the three, actors, and I think John Goodman was definitely had the hardest. He had the most important role in the movie, so it made sense that he would be the name actor that you recognize, and the other two are just sort of, they're just sort of there to react to what's going on and try and decide whether he's insane or not,
And he yo-yos so nicely between, like, levels of, oh no, he's clearly insane, or maybe they should give him the benefit of the doubt, maybe he's just a weird guy.
Right.
And,
and towards the end when she's going through the guy's wallet and, like, finding that everything he said was true, like, he'd never made up any of his backstory, whereas John Goodman lied about who the girl in the picture was, and there was evidence that maybe he killed that girl. It seems kind of like he did because he
we never found out for sure, huh?
But he knew how to get rid of bodies. And he had her stuff.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
I'm like,
he knew from experience what it does to bodies.
Does any actual acid do that fast? I thought that even
he was still in there bubbling when they went by.
That was gross.
That's true. Because, I thought what Mythbusters had basically said, you can dissolve things, but it's going to take 24 hours.
So, this movie for me, I think is something I'll feel better about maybe looking back a couple of days later. Like, I'm still kind of in the moment, and we knew that the reveal was going to happen, and it had to be something, but it took so long to get there that it was kind of underwhelming, like, when it did happen. And the whole thing about she destroys one of these ships with a bottle of whiskey just seemed kind of... I was like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
It almost turned into a completely different, like, almost farcical at that point for me. But maybe once it's digested, I'll feel better about that.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like... I figured out pretty quickly that it was a anthology type of story. It wasn't going to be a direct sequel. They had to put the monster in the end because it's in the title. It's part of the idea, and I do feel like it was shoehorned in there. But I also feel like if they had given that a half hour to develop instead of 10 minutes, it would have been even worse. It would have been even more of like just get on with it kind of thing.
Right.
So I think they did it the right way. I mean, my joke ending, which I still think would have been the best, was her. She escapes the bunker. She gets out of the bunker, and the monster just steps on her, and she's dead. And the movie ends. Like, that would have been the perfect...
Well, I thought something similar was going to happen where she finally gets out, he's been the monster in there, and now she's out here, and there's no hope, and that would have been the safest place, and I thought they were going to end it like that.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised by that kind of upturn thing at the end, which made it kind of more like regular movies where, we'll keep fighting and blah, blah, blah.
I guess we do have confirmation this is an alien invasion, technically. Because the first movie was just some monster.
Yeah.
This was a monster spaceship.
Yeah.
Well, and they also there's a joke in there about, like, space worms. And that's kind of what I think.
Kind of looked like a worm, huh?
Yeah. So I think that's kind of what was going on here.
Howard knew the entire time.
He did. It's like he had that part of things figured out, but he was also like a sociopath and was happy to just live with Michelle, his little princess.
So the very last shot, I was a little confused. Was she driving? Was that Houston in the background? Because it was like city lights and stuff.
That she was
But
driving toward?
Yeah, but the ships were all around, so I didn't quite get that. Like, it looked like she was driving into an inhabited city that had power on and stuff, and yet those alien ships were all around.
She's driving into the thick of it. The radio station was talking about their.
Like, if you want to get to safety, go this way.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can help us,
Come to
we're putting up a
Houston.
fight in Houston.
And then she heads that way. After her training in the bunker.
Well, now that she knows about the whiskey bottles,
Yeah.
Right.
They can be defeated by
let's
whiskey.
get lots of whiskey.
Get on the horn and tell them how to take.
Just make sure you
these
light it
things.
on fire.
Yeah.
I guess they set that up that the explosion was catching the spores on fire, so she knew that the internal is things combustible. I guess that's what they were going for.
Well, at least that wasn't a hive mind.
Right. She took down.
normally
She,
is.
she took down the one that takes down all of them in all the cities. She's the savior of humanity.
Thank you for not making
That,
one of
that
those
would be
dudes.
hilarious.
Yeah, and I was getting a alien vibe off of the creature too.
Mm-hmm.
Like it felt very much like the alien monster. So
The xenomorphs.
yeah,
Right.
with like the teeth and the teeth and the teeth, sort of thing. But
A Sarlacc pit within a Sarlacc pit.
yeah, it's like that's like none of that's going to be the stuff I remember about this movie. Like
Oh, no.
all I'm going to remember is like them trying to outsmart John Goodman and like him always being a step ahead and like that weird combination of how like he's smart but he's also like there's something wrong with him and he's like physically able but he's also like not physically able. It's like a really weird tightrope that they walk with him where
And he was like psychologically like a busted up kind of guy. I mean, he shot the other
Yeah.
guy dead, who's 1/3 of the population in the bunker, and then he just acted like nothing even happened, Like with the ice cream and stuff.
yeah
That was pretty freaky.
well, and there was a part of it too where it was like the way that he started talking to her was completely different once he shot the guy. And he's like, it's like, yeah, this is how it was always meant to be. Like, I'm just gonna go back to having a hostage woman. You can be one of my sister wives now.
Daughter surrogate.
Yeah,
This just proves it.
you can wear my daughter's clothes and
Right.
In Roseanne, Dan killed the original Becky.
that's-
why they have a second Becky.
That's correct. Right. The Cloverfield is actually in the Roseanne universe. I never thought about that.
if it had been Sarah Chalk that played the main character,
That
it
would have been too
It would have
much.
been the best. All right. Well, that's 10 Cloverfield Lane. If you like the way we do these reviews, please like the video, subscribe, check out all the written and video reviews at dalemaxfield.com, and thanks for watching.